Dream. Oh man, only Manchester United can do this to us. I cannot believe what I've just seen there. Guys, big up yourselves, man. You know what? Yeah, this club is mad. This club is absolutely mad. You know, I cannot believe what I've just watched there. How United have come back from 4-2 down. Sorry, not 4-2 down. They were 6-4 on aggregate, and they've got three goals. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. But you know what? I mean, I don't know what to say, man. Do we? What to say? This is football, man. This is what football does. You know, this is what football does. Highs and lows, man. And this is why we love the game. This is why we love the game, man. I was watching that and I could not believe when Kobe Minu got the equalizer. I thought, you know what, United are gonna get another one. They're gonna score, and this is football for you, man. This is what football does. I think it's important to to be patient because I thought that was a poor Leon team, if I'm honest. And the fact that United were 2 up and allowed Leon to get back into the game and then eventually go 3-2 up, and then United to come back and yeah, it's mad. It's mad. And again, man, there's tougher games ahead for me. I think Leon going down to 10 men as well actually killed it. Well, of course it killed them. But to be honest with you, Man United, man, Harry Maguire getting the winner, Kobe Minu with a bit of composure and a bit of brilliance for the finish. And yeah, man, it is. I can't actually believe what I've just watched there. I cannot believe it. But as I said, man, big up reluctant gamer, bro. What was that, man? I cannot. Mad. That was ridiculous, man. That was ridiculous. Big up everyone for coming on, man. Manchester United into the semi-finals of the Europa League. 7-6 on aggregate. And to be honest with you, that was absolutely a crazy game. I think that was two teams there, that for me personally, I can't see how Man United go on and win this, if I'm honest, because I think it's good to keep the expectations in order. Big up Angel Torres, big up Monkey as well. But that was an absolutely mad game. Mad game. And I think deep down, me personally, if I'm looking at it objectively, I'm not happy, I think what it is now, I think you enjoy the night because United have gone through. But I think overall, I think there's massive question marks still for me over this manager. But I think for tonight, we have to just enjoy it, man. So Rothan Gamer says it should have made it more comfortable against 10 men, but at least they done it. Yeah, bro, I 100% agree, man. I'm lost for words, man, to be honest, because when they went 4-2 down, when Lacazette put that penalty in, I thought to myself, you know what? This is the season done. And to get 3 goals back, I mean, you have to look at Leon and think to let a 3-goal lead slip. To let United get 3 goals back, I think you have to look at it and think, that's poor on their part. Obviously, 10 men, but this is football for you, man. This is what it is. This is football heritage, Manchester United, European nights. And Kobe Minu, man, his finish was nothing short of class, The composure that he showed there, many people would have just gone for the shot straight away. but Kobe managed to cut in and then hit it into the far corner, and then that was the equaliser, and then the Harry Maguire. And I think what's safe to say as well, over the last couple of days, there has been a lot of controversy in terms of decisions. And I think if you look at all the decisions that, in terms of VAR, they've all gone for the English clubs, funny enough, which is mad. If you look at the game, the Arsenal game yesterday, the VAR where Mbappe tried to win the penalty, that went for United, that went for Arsenal. And in all the VAR decisions today, was it a push? Was it a penalty? Have all gone in favour of United today. So yeah, man, it's absolutely crazy, absolutely crazy. Big up Fire Gaming. So what team do you support? The team that just happened to get over the line just now, Man United. What a game, man! Absolutely mad game. Absolutely mad game. I think in terms of the first half performance, I thought the team actually played quite well, from honest, and went 2-0 in, 2-0 up. And I thought they actually played decent, funny enough. The team that he picked was the team that I thought he was going to pick. Again, I would have gone with a different team. I would have gone with Kobe starting. And look at that, Kobe actually got the goal as well. But I think, as I said, man, I think we enjoyed the night. United have gone through to the next round. But again, if we're looking at things in the bigger picture, it's not good enough. My stance is still the same with Ruben Amorim. I still don't think Ruben Amorim deserves to be at the end of the season, if I'm honest. And obviously, as I said, United have got to navigate their way through this Europa League. They got to win it, and if he doesn't win it, how they've been performing in the league, again, is not going to be good enough for me for Amorim to stay long term. But again, man, this is just a night where we can just enjoy it, man, because that was a crazy game of football. Crazy game of football. And then the other tie, you got Tottenham beating Eintracht Frankfurt 1-0, 2-1 on aggregate. So they're through now. And I think Lazio and Bodo Glimt, if I remember right, it was 3-3. So they'll be the other semi-final. And United now move on to play Athletic Bilbao. Now, this is going to be a tough game. And I think if United play anywhere how they've been playing over these two legs against Athletic Bilbao, I don't think they get past them, But you would hope, that United obviously do perform better, and be a bit more consistent in the lead up to the final if they can get there. But the funny thing is as well, if Kobe Minu hadn't have come on, if Kobe Minu doesn't, if Kobe Minu wasn't playing in that position, I don't think that goal would have happened, funny enough, because I think if he would have played in midfield, he would have been too deep for that to happen. But, what a game, man. Big up Reluctant Gamer, man. Your emotions in that game must have been a different experience. Never seen that happen. Hey, Gamer, man, I was going mad. When Lacazette put that penalty in, I was just sitting there thinking, this is an absolute disgrace, this club. And then the penalty, and big up to Casemiro, man. Casemiro showed why he's Casemiro. I mean, if anyone didn't notice, Casemiro towards the end of the game dragged United back into this tie. He got himself in the box for the penalty, and I believe was he the one that played Harry Maguire the ball? I can't remember. I don't know if he's the one that played Harry Maguire the ball, but he was a key reason why United come back into this. So Soul Reaper says, "Lil bro, you're acting mad zesty right now, bro. I'm probably older than you, man. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Don't be fooled by the good looks, man, and the image. I'm probably older than you, man, and you're calling me little bro, man. I should be little bro in you. But big up yourself for coming on anyway, man. Yeah, as I said, man, that was a mad game. That was a mad game, man. And Man United do it again. Guys, what do you guys think of the game anyway? Do you think Leon can find themselves a bit hard done by? Or do you think that, Man United deserve the win in the end? I think if I'm a Leon fan, I'm going mad because, to be honest with you, to let a 2-goal lead slip like that is poor. And yeah, it's absolutely crazy, man. Absolutely crazy, you know. But I think you have to give Amorim credit, because obviously things were up against him, and he's managed to navigate his way into semi-final. But for me, there's bigger tests ahead, because I think they're gonna play a team in Athletic Bilbao who will be their toughest opponent, and we'll have to wait and see how they get on, man. Because I think Leon, to be fair, the fact that Leon managed to score 5 goals against United, was it 5 goals? Sorry, 6 goals. The fact that Leon managed to score 6 goals against United is mad concerning, And Athletic Bilbao have a better defense, They've got players as well in the attack that will cause problems. So again, Man United are gonna need to sharpen up, man, for sure. But so Gamer says, yeah, big up Mazaria, you. Yeah, big up for coming on. Guess a Gamer says Leon deserved losing because they shouldn't let that many goals. Yeah, I agree, man. I think if I'm the coach, Leon coach, or the fans, I think you have to be mad disappointed. I think if Leon had 10 men, and I don't want anyone to ignore that, Leon were down to 10 men, and again, the sending off was very harsh because it wasn't intentional, and I think all the decisions, which again, people need to be aware of, all the big decisions have gone in United's favour tonight. If you look at the sending off, which was harsh, if you look at the penalty that was given for Casemiro, if you look at the Dallo controversy where he actually looked at Tagliafico, and then obviously he was stronger than Tagliafico, but he actually looked at him first. You know what I mean? And then you look at the Harry Maguire slight push. All the big decisions went in United's favour, as well as Leon being down to 10 men. So I think Leon can find themselves a bit hard done by, but in the same sense, to let 2 goals slip, you deserve to go out really, man, because that's just poor. Even if you are down to 10 men, they should have showed a bit more composure, a bit more togetherness when they were 4-2 up, and they should have just shut off the game, man. But wasn't to be. But yeah, guys, big up Boyka as well. Guys, if you do like the stream, make sure you smash that like button and make sure you subscribe to my channel. And guys, give me your questions in the chat as well. So Mezaria says, do you think Pulisic is better than Rodrigo? Hell no. Hell no. I think for me, Rodrigo is I think Rodrigo's one of the best attackers in world football. I think at the moment he's not. Well, I think over the last couple of games against Arsenal, you've not really seen that. But I think there's reasons for that. But for me, yeah, Pulisic is a good player, but he's not better than Rodrigo. No way. Big up Bobby Joe. Big up Haram Zaid. Guys, as I said, give me your questions. What did you guys think of tonight's Europa League? Who do you think is going to win Europa League? Do you think Tottenham have a chance? Tottenham going away to Eintracht Frankfurt and winning 1-0 against a tough Frankfurt side. I think credit has to be given to Postecoglou, another manager that's under pressure as well. And you got both Postecoglou and Amorim, 2 guys under pressure that have managed to navigate their ways to semi-finals. But I think these semi-finals now, just like the semi-finals in the Champions League, is where it's gonna be at. I think so. Yeah, I think we have to. I think these next semi-finals in Champions League and Europa is gonna be good, man. Just watching Cobby's finish again, man. What a finish! What a finish! But I think Leon, man, poor defending for me. I think they brought on another defender as well. They brought on another defender as well and didn't really make much of a difference. you know. But Casemiro, man, what a player, what a winner, you know. So Mezaria U says the winner of the Champions League, in your opinion. So for me, I've said it from the start, and I'm going to stick to my opinion. For me, it's going to be Barcelona. You know, I think they've got a tough semi-final up against Inter Milan. And again, Inter Milan, I had from the start of the tournament as my dark horses. So, but I think Barcelona. I think it's going to be a Barcelona. 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys. I think it's going to be a Barcelona and PSG semi-final. You know, I think I can see that happening for sure. You know, and again, all 4 teams that are in the semi-finals of the Champions League, you know, all 4 teams really deserve to be there. You know, they've probably been the best performing teams in the latter stages as to why they're in there. But I think it's going to be a Barca PSG final. And for me, in terms of quality, I think that will be the right final as well. So, yeah, I'm going to go Barcelona. But big up yourself. So, your Philip fan CW says Madrid loses to Arsenal. Yeah, that was yesterday. And rightfully so, Arsenal beat them. So there's no debate there, really. I think Arsenal convincingly beat them over both legs. And Madrid, as I said today on my stream, they've got a lot of thinking to do because they've in their attack, for me, Madrid need a proper striker. Again, there ain't too many strikers in world football that are at the top level. And they have a problem in number 10 because for me, they need to be playing Arda Güler there because Arda Güler is a pure number 10, you know, even Brahim Diaz as well. But because Bellingham's got the profile he has, you know, because Vinicius Jr. and Mbappe, well, we'll go into them in a minute, but because Bellingham has the profile that he has, you know, he's getting preference over Arda Güler, but Arda Güler is better than him as a footballer. So, and Arda Güler is a number 10 as well. So they've got a problem. They've got an issue there, which they have to sort out for me because I think if you drop Jude Bellingham back to a deeper midfield position, he's not as good as Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Valverde there for me. And playing him in the 10, he's not even a 10. So they've got issues there to sort out. And then going forwards, Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. Mbappe's not a striker. Mbappe plays from the left, but Vinny's there. So, you know, something's got to give. And then you got Rodrigo, who actually plays on the left, but because he's the lesser profile, has to play on the right-hand side. So, yeah, it's mad. It's mad. But I think Real Madrid have got something to sort out there next season. But, yeah, Arsenal convincingly beat them, man, and thoroughly deserved it, in my eyes. Big up, Fagger Cos United. Yeah, this I'm still shocked, man. I cannot believe United were, and again, what people are forgetting, United are still unbeaten in this tournament, funny enough. So United were 4-2 down, and they've come back to win 5-4, and they're still unbeaten in this tournament. So, you know, as bad as they've been, they're still unbeaten in this tournament, which is crazy. But as I said, I think this next game is going to be the game. And if they was to beat Athletic Bilbao, you know, you'd have to give credit to United, you know. But yeah, this next game, I believe, will be the one. But big up yourself. The Ballon d'Or winner, who could be? So if you've seen my streams from before, this is how I'm going to break it down. So if you look at the front runners for the Ballon d'Or now, obviously Messi, Ronaldo, they're long gone. They're no longer in Europe. So if we're looking at the Ballon d'Or favourites for me, at Barcelona, you've got Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, Robert Lewandowski. I would have Pedri in there as well because I think Pedri, for me, is arguably the best central midfielder in the game, you know. But if we're looking at Barcelona, I think the front runners will be Rafinha, Lewandowski, and Lamine Yamal. And I'll go on to each one of them. So how the Ballon d'Ors normally works is based on, well, it's based on popularity, it's based on stats and what you've won as well. So if we're looking at the pure footballer, Lamine Yamal wins it all day long. And for me, Lamine Yamal should win it if Barca was to win Champions League League and the Copa del Rey. But I think they might give it to Rafinha if Barca was to complete a if Barca was to complete a treble, I think they'll give it to Rafinha because I think what comes into effect is Rafinha's numbers. I believe Rafinha's got 57 GA in all competitions. And then you've got Lewandowski, for me, who was robbed of one. He should be in with a good shout, but I think he's only got, well, not only, which is mad. I think he's got about 40-something GA, I believe. So, again, if it's GA talk and they win a treble, then I think they'll give it to Rafinha. But if it's just pure footballer, and I'm hoping it is, then you have to give it to Lamine Yamal or a Pedri for me, you know. But we'll have to see what happens because, as I said, if they win that treble, there's going to be some interesting conversations. I think if PSG was to win the Champions League, again, it'll be tough because I look at their team and I mean, you got Vitinha for me, who, again, if you're talking about pure football players, these guys should be in the reckoning. I don't think Vitinha would win it, though, even if PSG won it. And then you got Ousmane Dembele, again, numbers. You know, he's had a very good season as well. So he could be in with a chance. And then you have, I don't think Kvaratskhelia will get it. You know, I think, I think you're looking at, from PSG, probably Vitinha and Ousmane Dembele. Barcelona, Yamal, Lewandowski, Rafinha, and I would have Pedri in there. If we're looking at Arsenal, there's no one there. To be honest with you, Saka's not Ballon d'Or level anyway, and he's a very good player, but he's not Ballon d'Or level. But he's been out injured for the majority of it. And Declan Rice, there's no point even mentioning Declan Rice. He ain't that level, even though he scored 2 great free kicks. Inter Milan, again, Inter don't really have no one. You know, I know Lautaro scored a few goals, but I think personally, the front runner will be the 3 at Barcelona: Rafinha, Lewandowski, and Lamine Yamal. That will be the front runners for the Ballon d'Or if Barca was to win it. But big up, man. Great question. You know, but I think these kind of questions, they're not just simple answers because we have to break down as to what the what's the word? I forgot the word. What the criteria is, shall I say? You know. But big up. So Mazaria U says, do you think company stays at Bayern? I do. Even though Bayern are a ruthless club, you know, but I think, you know, I mean, imagine if Bayern wasn't to win the league. Because I don't think, I know Bayern are ruthless, but I don't see Bayern just sacking him after one season. I don't, you know. And if they did, I would rate them for that because it shows that, you know, he's come to Bayern, hasn't got them the Champions League or a league title. And they've just acted and been ruthless, you know. I rate things like that. But what I would say is that I do think he stays there at least for another season. But I think if he doesn't win the league, even though I think they're 6 points ahead of the league at the moment from Bayer Leverkusen, if they don't secure that after getting knocked out of Champions League, I think he will be under pressure, Vincent Kompany. But yeah, I think he'll definitely stay, man, for another season for sure. But big up, Miseria, you. Great question. Yeah, Messi's the GOAT, man. Yeah, of course. Messi, Ronaldinho, R9 for me. Your Philip fan CW says Messi or Ronaldo. Messi for me. But big up. So Makim Nuam says Pedri doesn't play enough games to be considered. I think you might want to retract that. Go and have a look at how many games Pedri has played this season. And again, it's not about how many games you've played; it's how good you are. You know what I mean? So, you know, Pedri for me has played enough games, but I'm not looking at how many games Pedri has played. Just look at the level of performance that Pedri puts in consistently. You know, as I said, for me, he's the best central midfielder in the game right now for me. Him and Vitinha. I think him and Vitinha, in terms of quality, I think them two are the top 2 at the moment. And the biggest compliment I can give to Pedri is that Pedri, for me, is the closest thing. He's a mix of Fabregas and Iniesta. That's how good he is. And if football was going back to the days of the pure footballers, yeah, then you're looking at again Pedri and Yamal as two players that should be in contention to win the Ballon d'Or, because these guys don't have ridiculous numbers, but they have ridiculous quality, and this is what football should be about. So your Philip fan says I'm eating rice. Well, I think when PSG play Arsenal, that could be a thing. I think Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, and João Neves could exactly be doing that, because that first leg's going to be crucial. There's no Thomas Partey, so that midfield I can see it being Rice, Jorginho, and Martin Odegaard. That's what I can see it being. So they might have a problem there, because Thomas Partey over the 2 games against Real Madrid has been a massive player for them. So Philip fan says Inter beat by Barca 4-3. Ooh. Do you know what? I wouldn't bet against that, because the only difference I would say, I don't think it'll be that high scoring of a game, because Inter's defense is very good, but Barca's attack is very good, and I think Inter will set up to be very hard to beat. And I think if Barca do get past them, I think it might be possibly by the odd goal. I think the second leg actually is at Inter. So, yeah, Barca are going to need to make sure they put them away in the first leg if they can. But it's going to be a great time, man. So, Fagot Cos said, do you know Blackburn Rovers in the Championship? Yeah, of course, man, of course. Blackburn Rovers, I remember Blackburn Rovers when they had Sharon Sutton, SAS, they used to call them. Sharon Sutton, if you remember, two guy, Turkish guy, in midfield. What a player he was. Yeah, man, of course I know Blackburn. Gamer says, I would like to see Lewandowski win the Ballon d'Or. Even Messi admitted he should have won the one he got rewarded for. Yeah, me too, man. Yeah, me too. As I said, I think Lewandowski does deserve to win one. Whether it's this season or not, I don't. It's going to be hard, because, as I say, he's got someone who's a pure footballer in Lamine Yamal, who deserves to win if we're looking at just pure footballers. But then on the other hand, he's got someone in Rafinha who has got mad GA. He's got 57 GA this season, I believe. So he's basically stuck in the middle between a pure footballer and someone that's got better GA than him. So that's why I think he won't win it, But he does deserve to get recognition. But I think his time went. The only way I could see Lewandowski possibly winning the Ballon d'Or is if Barca win the Champions League and Lewandowski, is the main reason for that. Then he might get it. But I think at the moment, I think the front runners might be Rafinha and Lamine Yamal. I think it's Rafinha more because of the GA, and then Lamine Yamal might just get awarded the under-21. But for me, he should be in contention for the main award. But big up. Miseria, another great question. Can you compare Pato with Rafinha? No, you can't, because one was more of a striker and one's more of a winger come playmaker. But if anyone remembers Alexandre Pato from AC Milan, absolutely deadly player, didn't go on to have the career that he probably should have, and how he was spoken about. I remember when Pato was coming through, they were saying that Pato was the next R9, and again, he was never that level. But Pato at AC Milan, when he was playing with, was he with Ibrahimovic? He might have been wearing a number 7 shirt. He was deadly, took over the 7 shirt from a certain Andrei Shevchenko, I think, as well. But he was absolutely deadly, Pato. But no, you can't really compare them. So your Philip fan says Pedri has played 26 games. Yeah, that's more than enough for me, man. I've seen more than enough from Pedri to say that he should be in contention. I think there was a season that Pedri played something like 60 games before he got that. When he was getting the injuries before, I think he played something like 60 games, which is mad. But yeah, no, he's more than capable of winning the Ballon d'Or for me. Big up Mackin Newham says Vitinha is that guy this season. If they win Liga and Champions League, why not consider him? Yeah, listen, I agree, man. PSG have already secured the Liga title already, and for me, if they win Champions League, then why not give it to a Vitinha? Um, I'm just saying what usually happens with the Ballon d'Or is that they usually give it to someone who has the most numbers. You know, if you look at Messi and Ronaldo, who have dominated it for so long, the reason that they won Ballon d'Or is because not only were their teams either getting to the latter stages or winning Champions Leagues, they also were winning league titles, you know, and they also had the most GA out of everyone else. The only person that really broke that up was Modric. And that's because I believe Real won the treble, and Modric obviously was a massive key part of that. And I think it was more giving it to Modric because of a pure footballer, you know. And if the game goes back to giving it to just pure footballers and ignoring the stats, then as I said, Pedri, Lamine Yamal, these guys are in contention every time, you know. But and even Vitinha. So for me, yeah, Vitinha definitely has to be considered. But I think if they was to win Champions League, you know, they might look at Dembele ahead of him purely because of Dembele's numbers, you know. But Vitinha for me has to be given a chance. But big up, man. So Mezario U says, who is the best centre back in the history of of football in your opinion? That's tough, man. That's tough. Because if you're gonna say the best centre back in history, I mean you're gonna go way back. You know, you got players like Alessandro Nesta, Fabio Cannavaro, you know, Paolo Maldini, Marcel Desailly, you know. Yeah, it's hard to say, man. It's hard to say. If I was to say who's the best centre back in the history, but the best centre back in my era from what I've seen. Again, I've done. If you look at some of my other content, so I've done the best players of the Premier League era in their positions, from goalkeeper, right back, left back, centre back, centre mid, number 10, left wing, right wing, and striker. So yeah, if you get a chance, give that a check, man. You can see who I've gone for. But if I was to say who's the best centre back right now in this era of football, for me, it has to be Virgil van Dijk. In terms, because I think Van Dijk as a defender has absolutely everything, and that's how I kind of look at it. You know, I like Antonio Rudiger as well. I like Rudiger because he's a winner. You know, doesn't have the technical skills of a Van Dijk in terms of the passing and the technique on the ball, but Rudiger's an absolute warrior. And for me, those two at the moment are the top two centre backs in the world right now. I like Ronald Arroyo as well, but he's been a bit injury prone. But if we're talking about Premier League era, again, go and have a check up of my content and look at centre back and see who I went for. But big up, Miserio, you another great question. So Fagok says, what do you think of the Venkies for Blackburn? I don't really have much of an opinion on them, to be fair. I mean, Blackburn for me have always been like a Premier League club. So the fact that they're in the Championship still, I'm not sure how long the Venkies have been there, but obviously they need to be doing a lot better to preparing them back to the Premiership, man. You know, I'm not even sure what players they've got there now, but yeah, I don't really have an opinion on that, man. But big up yourself. Big up BVB Dortmund as well. Listen, Dortmund done very well to come back against Barcelona, but it wasn't to be. Big up Jovi the guy, says Man United 5, Lyon 4. Yeah, listen, man. As I said already earlier, if you joined the stream earlier, this is what football's all about, man. You know, how Man United can be 4-2 down and then come back 5-4 and still remain unbeaten is just madness. It's absolutely madness. So Miserio U says, do you think Calvin Phillips becomes a regular player or he will return to his prime? No, I think Calvin Phillips is what you're going to see of Calvin Phillips. I think at Leeds, you know, he was playing a system which, you know, was getting the best of his talents in a sense, you know, and then him going to Man City was a silly move, really, because he was never going to be ahead of Rodri, you know. Obviously, Rodri being Spanish and obviously, of course, being one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world in his position, Calvin Phillips was never going to get game time. So it was more about Calvin Phillips just going there, really, to just pick up trophies, you know. But in the same sense, his career stagnated. And For me, I think Calvin Phillips is a good player, but the fact that he's not even a regular at Ipswich now, it just shows how much his career has gone down, because this is a guy that was a regular England international as well. Doesn't get in the England squad no more. You know, wasn't play lost his way really at Man City, and now he's not even a regular player at Ipswich. So it's kind of sad really to see how some players' careers have fallen off. But I think the Man City move was the wrong move for him. He should have gone to a club where he was guaranteed to play. But in the same sense, he might be happy that he's put up some trophies. So you never know, man. Football's a weird game, and it's a short career. So as I said, yeah, he might be regretting that now. But who knows? To Jovi the guy says the white R9. No, there's only one R9, man, and that's Ronaldo Nazario de Lima. That's the real Ronaldo. There's no white Ronaldo. There's no white R9. That's Cristiano Ronaldo. The real Ronaldo's R9, man. Let's put some respect on his name, man. But big up. So Philip fan says Maldini's the GOAT centre back. Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. Maldini, Yap Stam. There's loads of defenders out there, man. So Fagok says Venkis are Indian farmers who bought Blackburn in 2011, and they have no clue what they were doing. And now we have a lot of debt in the club, and now we are falling apart. Yeah, listen, I think it's going to be a long way back for Blackburn into the Premiership for sure. And I think what's happening now, especially in the Premier League, as you can see, the three teams that are in the bottom three are the three teams that come up from the Championship. So the gap between the Championship and the Premiership is getting even bigger with the money. So I think in terms of Blackburn, I think they have to be looking at things like that as well, thinking, are they going to be equipped if they was to go up to the Premiership? And I think the way it's going now, I mean, Southampton are on 10 points, and Leicester and Ipswich are not on too much more. So I think in terms of the gap between the Premiership and Championship, I think the gap's going to get even bigger. So you're going to have to be exceptional as a team coming from the Championship to come up to the Premiership and sustain anything. So, yeah, I can't see Blackburn being back anytime soon, personally, But we'll have to wait and see, man. We'll have to wait and see. So Mackin Newham says, what team you support? So I support Manchester United. Just went through Europa League semi-final. Mad game. Mad game. But yeah, obviously, Athletic Bilbao in the semi-final. I think this is going to be a tough game, and we're going to really see United and see what they're on in this tournament, because they're unbeaten still, which is mad, and I think the quality of teams in this tournament anyway hasn't been great, but United to remain unbeaten after the seasons they've had is absolutely madness. And sorry guys, and to be honest with you, yeah, we're gonna see arguably probably the best team in the tournament left, I would say, up against United. So yeah, United still got it all to do. I think it's important. I think what it is, they're gonna have obviously, a lot of excitement. Fans are gonna be excited, ecstatic, whatever you want to call it. But as I said, I think it's still early days, because the excitement can also turn to tears very soon. So and again, this was a poor Lyon team. This has to be noted out. This was a poor Lyon team, with a few individual talents there. And they still scored 5 goals against United. And it took like a last-minute goal for United to go through against 10 men. So let's put things back into order and, yeah, look at it objectively, I would say. But big up. So Mackin says, you guys got a fluke pen for the comeback. I mean, what I would say is, again, he did kick his heel. I mean, there was a bit of debate whether the ball come off of Casemiro's hand. But all the big decisions over both days, I would even for the English clubs, have all gone in their favour. If you look at the Arsenal-Real Madrid game, and then you look at the Man United game, because the Arsenal Real Madrid game, I don't even think that was a penalty for Saka, which he actually missed. But I think if you look at it, you know, Mikel Merino made contact with Raul Asensio first, and then obviously he obviously made contact after. So I thought it was pretty harsh. The Mbappe one, again, if you're giving the one that you gave against Raul Asensio, even though it's soft, Declan Rice does still have his hands on Mbappe. So I'm thinking if you're giving that against Raul Asensio, I thought it was only right to give that penalty as well. But if you look at the decisions that was made, you know, it was all in Arsenal's favour. And then tonight, again, all the big decisions went in United's favour. You know, the Dallo, because if you look at Dallo's goal against Leon tonight, Dallo actually looks at Tagliafico and then more or less runs into him. Even though I do think Dallo was stronger than him, you know, Dallo did look at him and then made contact with him, really, you would say. But that was given in United's favour. The Casemiro one, as I said, the Harry Maguire push, not, it wasn't a blatant push, it was like a little nudge. But again, in other games, it would have gone in the other team's favour. But I think Andre Onana as well deserves credit tonight. You know, he made a couple of good saves, which normally, you know, he would have made a howler of. But I think the bigger picture is, Man United go through, you know, and they're in the next round, man. And yeah, big up Mackim. So it's not against Spurs. They got Athletic Bilbao. So you've got Nico Williams, Oyhan Sansei, you know, Inaki Williams. They've got some problem players in that team, you know. They've got a decent defence as well, you know. So I think this will be a massive test for United. And yeah, we will be there. But guys, big up yourselves for coming on. You know, as I said, man, what a game tonight, Man United. Only Man United can do this. You know, make the blood boil. But yeah, what a game, man. When they were 4-2 down, I just said, yeah, it's done. And to come back in the way they did, madness, absolute madness. But guys, make sure you smash that like button if you haven't done so already. And make sure you subscribe to my channel as well at GavGoesIn. And guys, I'm going to be back at some point tomorrow. I probably will schedule it. And I think tomorrow we got to speak on going forward, you know, Man United. But yeah, man, can't believe it. Through to the next round. But big up yourselves for coming on. Big up to Reluctant Gamer each and every time. Big up to Makim Newham. Big up to Fagox United as well. Big up to you, your Philip fan CW. And big up to all the great questions, man, to Mzaria U. Some great questions on there, man. So yeah, big up yourselves, guys. And I'm going to catch you guys in a bit. Take it easy. Yeah, bro. Bro, yeah, I wasn't, you know what, to be honest with you, I was angry when it was 4-2. I said I can't come on tonight, man. I'm going to be venting. But when they turned it around, man, I had to come on, man. But yeah, big up yourself, man. Anyway, yeah, catch you, man's tomorrow. Take it easy.